Yo YouTube, what's up with y'all, man? As y'all can see, we got a whole different setup today. We outside right now, and I know y'all probably wondering for what. It's because I'm doing a dopamine detox right now. I'm gonna be telling y'all, bro, the insane benefits, and I think I basically found the key that's gonna be able to propel me to be able to get to 10,000 a month or whatever financial goals that I've been looking for. And I'm gonna explain my whole thought process and the situations and the discoveries I've had in this video, man. The first thing that I want to cover is basically why you should be creating content, why you should be documenting your journey if that's something that you're interested in, because it can be a massive benefit to you. For me, I know in my last video I was speaking about how I was so freaking bored of SMMA, like the learning process of it and learning the skills and going through the courses to be able to get the information so I could be successful. I had to basically talk my way through that, and I talked my way so much into finding out that a dopamine detox was the thing that I needed to do in order to be able to do the work and actually enjoy it, because that's the whole idea of a dopamine detox, getting yourself to a point where you can actually find enjoyment in doing the hard work, in doing something that previously you couldn't sit and concentrate for 10 minutes. I've been thinking that for so long, like, why am I so bored? Why can't I do it? Like, I do it for a couple of days and then I won't focus and I fall off and I keep derailing. And I wonder, bro, what is it? But it wasn't until I actually picked up the camera and I recorded it and heard myself explain it out loud on camera that I was watching an Alex Becker video, and he was saying how if you're somebody that is very bored with doing the work and you can't sit down and concentrate it, even Iman Ghazi, even Jordan Platten, a whole bunch, Sebastian Georgiou, a lot of these creators have talked about dopamine detox, how it will help you do the hard work. This is the way that you can trick your brain into basically loving to do the hard work. Becca was explaining, it was like, if you're somebody that can't sit down and focus, you can't do work because you're so bored of it, then this is for you. Basically what it is, well, I'll explain like the whole idea of it and the type of person that you need to be in order to greatly benefit from it, which is pretty much everybody, but especially if you experience a certain type of symptoms and things that you're going through right now. So, but one thing I want to do is, you know, I'll let y'all know I'm on day 2 right now. This is the start of day 2 of my dopamine detox. I'm doing it for 7 days, and then I'm going straight into monk mode, Iman Ghazi style. But I've been reading Atomic Habits, you know, for this pretty much yesterday. I read it for about, you know, a couple of hours, about 3 hours, and I was just sitting out here outside in the backyard reading it. And there was a lot of good points that I want to share with y'all that I took from it. You know, first off, I'm getting my mojo back right now. But at first, when I was thinking about it, bro, I'm thinking, why am I so ambitious? And I got all these big dreams and big goals that I want to accomplish, but it seemed like I'm too lazy to actually even go through and accomplish it, bro. I'm like, am I doomed? Is something wrong with me? I don't know if I'll be able to be successful at this rate, because the things I want to do, I can't even bring myself to do them or focus. But I was reading this book, and you know, on page 151, it's just this simple thing that changed my whole perspective. When James Clear says that conventional wisdom holds that motivation is the key to habit change. Maybe if you really wanted to do it, you would actually do it. But the truth is, our real motivation is to be lazy and do what is convenient. And despite what the latest productivity bestseller will tell you, this is a smart strategy, not a dumb one. So it changed my perspective. It's like, maybe that person that's super ambitious and is actually able to accomplish their goals, maybe it's not that they have superhuman motivation that can keep themselves doing it. No, we're all built like this. We're all built in order to want to just do something, to get done with it, and then to sit around and be lazy and just relax. And that goes into the next point, you know, and so that basically said that, you know, referring to me like, yeah, it's nothing wrong with you. And then on page 187, another thing that stood out to me was that James Clear was talking about the mismatch between immediate and delayed reward. And he was saying that if you're an animal roaming the plains of Africa, you're a giraffe, you're an elephant, or you're a lion, then you are in an immediate return environment. All of your actions is based around what you can get immediately, because you're worrying about what to eat because you need to survive. You're worrying about how to avoid a predator, and you're focused on right now, the present, because you could lose your life or you could be in grave danger if you're not. But now us in a human environment, we're not out in the wild, we're not in the wilderness. So now we live in what is called a delayed return environment. And so basically we live in an environment where our actions don't affect us so much right now. We're not so much focused on what our daily habits are, but we're focused on the long-term progress, right? And so basically this happened very fast. He was saying that we're not set up for a delayed return environment. We're not set up to do work and to expect not to see a return for years on end. The earliest modern humans, Homo sapiens, are approximately 200,000 years old, and they have a brain relatively similar to ours. And in the neocortex, the newest part of the brain and the region responsible for higher functions like language, was roughly the same size 200,000 years ago as today. So we are walking around with the same hardware as our Paleolithic ancestors. And it isn't until the last 500 years that society has shifted to predominantly a delayed return environment. So that's another thing that occurred to me. Like, you have to really try. You have to really set up your systems in order to be doing things day in and day out, like learning skills for the sales calls, like setting up your product to be really good and taking the time to do that before you can outreach, before you can just jump into the nitty gritty and appointment book and hop on sales calls. You know, you have to do the stuff that comes before then. You have to take time and you have to set up strategically. And the person that can do that and equip themselves to do that successfully is going to win in this game, in the long game, because we're still walking around with the same hardware that our ancestors had. And most people aren't set up to be successful, and they won't even try, they won't make it. So if you're one that can play the long game, then you will win. And this is what this said to me. So we are set up to, you know, the instant you will win if you can hold out. Last thing, that James Clear was talking about how after his baseball career ended, he was talking with an elite weightlifting coach, and he asked him, well, the coach had been coaching a really high level athletes and a couple of Olympians, and he said, James Clear asked the coach, he said, what's the difference between the best athletes and everyone else? What do successful people do that most people don't? And the guy said, at some point, it comes down to who can handle the boredom of training every day, doing the same lifts over and over and over. This coach was saying that, you know, when you're in business, and this is something, a mistake I made, you know, prior when I was about to quit SMMA. It was basically like thinking that you had to have something that you're passionate about, which I know is not true, because he says it in here. It says, you know, whether it's business or sports or art, you hear people say things like it all comes down to passion, or you have to really want it. And as a result, many of us get depressed when we lose focus or motivation because we think that successful people have bottomless reserve of motivation. But the coach was saying that really successful people feel the same lack of motivation as everyone else. The difference is that they still find a way to show up despite the feelings of boredom. And, you know, basically James Clear was saying at some point, everyone else faces the same challenge on the journey of self-improvement. You have to fall in love with the boredom. And so those were basically the 3 points from the book that I wanted to share with you guys. And that ties into the last point that I'm doing, is dopamine detoxing in order to fall in love with the boredom. Because the only way that you can fall in love with the boredom is to set your dopamine receptors down to a level of where you enjoy doing things like working on your business, where you enjoy doing things like learning, making strategic daily routine that you can stick to day in, day out to just see progress constantly over and over and over. And this is where dopamine detox comes in, because, you know, I was wondering why I couldn't stay focused, why I couldn't get myself to do the hard work when all I was doing was just scrolling, you know, on my phone day in, day out. I find myself having all this time all day long to work and just work on my business, but hardly any of it is going towards the business. I'm trying to figure out, bro, what is it that I'm doing? And I know that I really wanted to do this because I haven't given up yet, but this was the key, bro, because things like just scrolling gives you so much dopamine release and pleasure from even just scrolling, like even just social media, not to mention highly stimulating other things like video games, adult content, all that stuff that even just something that's so simple as social media and just scrolling all day, your body is like, if I can get pleasure and if I can feel fulfilled from just sitting here and scrolling, why would I do something like get up and work on my business where that takes work, where I actually have to put effort in to be successful and to feel gratification? And so being so that we're wired for this instant gratification, that's where the trap comes in. So if you do take time away and step away from the phone and ditch it and ditch the internet outside of actually working, then you'll be able to find fulfillment in working and doing the hard work. This is the key. And, you know, I've only done this for one day yesterday. And I can actually start to feel myself, you know, being able to do work towards the end of the day. And I'm gonna continue to do this for the next 6 more days because I'm on day 2 right now, just starting. And then from there, then you transition into monk mode. Because a lot of the gurus, they explain this properly. They explain it to where you need to cut out the internet. You need to cut out the extra stimulation. You need to be able to focus on your business. I feel like you need to just refresh. You need a whole dopamine detox, like hard reset. And then you can transition into letting yourself some of the stimulation and the dopamine from things outside of just doing hard work and working on your business. I think this will greatly help me. Actually, I know it will. And I think that I finally found the key to be able to enjoy doing the work and work on my business and get to 10K a month, financial freedom, or whatever else goes past that I want to do. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully this helps you guys. Let me know what y'all think about Dopamine Detox, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.